Before we begin this journey into Algeria's history, take a moment to like, share, and comment on this video. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any chapter of this incredible story. In the beginning, before the rise of kingdoms and the echo of human footsteps, before the first spark of faith touched the desert night, there was land, a land vast enough to swallow whole empires, a land carved by wind, shaped by stars, kissed by oceans, and guarded by mountains older than memory itself. This land is Algeria, a place where time does not merely pass, it rests, it waits, it remembers. We journey through its soul, from the first humans who walked its valleys to the modern nation that now stands proud, resilient, and unbroken. This is the story of trials, of triumph, of faith and fracture, of culture and courage, of ancient roots and modern rebirth. This is Algeria. Long before the Sahara became a golden ocean of sand, it was alive. Between 12,000 and 8,000 BCE, the Sahara was a paradise, a place of rivers, lakes, hippos, giraffes, lions, and lush grasslands. The land that would become Algeria was not a desert but a cradle of life. The first humans who lived here were hunters, gatherers, and artists. Yes, artists. Tassili Najir, a masterpiece gallery carved across 72,000 square kilometers, gave the world more than 15,000 cave paintings. Paintings of men dancing, women farming, children playing, animals long extinct. Even mysterious horned gods whose stories have been forgotten. These ancient Algerians recorded life before the world changed, but time is always hungry. Around 5000 BCE, the skies shifted. The rains grew weaker, and slowly, painfully, the paradise began to dry. The rivers shrank, the grass vanished, animals migrated or died, and the people of Algeria were forced to adapt. Some traveled north toward the Mediterranean coast. Others moved into mountains and caves. Some developed early farming, wheat, barley, sheep, goats. This was the birth of early Amazigh culture, the ancestors of the Berbers, a people who would survive everything history threw at them. Empires would come and go, armies would invade and retreat, but the Amazigh remained. Their story is the spine of Algeria's story. By 3000 BCE, the Amazigh had spread across North Africa, from the Atlantic Ocean to the Nile Valley. They lived in tribes, each with its own symbols and traditions. They believed in spirits of mountains, rivers, and stars. They honored ancestors. They respected the desert, and they carried blue tattoos representing sky, freedom, and eternity. From these early tribes came names that would echo into the future: Zenata, Masmouda, Sanhaja, and many more. These tribes built the foundations of Algerian culture: courage in war, hospitality to strangers, love for poetry and music, respect for elders, pride and freedom, because the Amazigh were free people. That is what their name means, free men. Empires would try to break them, but no empire ever fully succeeded. As millennia passed, the world outside Algeria began reaching in. Phoenicians arrived with trade. Egyptians recorded encounters with the Leba tribes. And across the Mediterranean, powerful civilizations watched the North African coast with hungry eyes. But the Amazigh were not impressed by outsiders. They lived by their own rhythm, guided by seasons, guided by stars, guided by stories passed from elders to children, stories that would soon be tested by the arrival of empires. The age of conquest was coming, and Algeria was about to become a battleground of giants. As centuries passed, powerful shadows drifted across the sea. The Phoenicians, explorers, traders, sailors, masters of purple dye, bronze, and long-distance navigation. From their empire emerged a city destined to shape North African history: Carthage. By 900 BCE, Carthage had grown into a mighty maritime force. Its ships touched every coast of the Mediterranean, and soon the Carthaginians set their sights on the shores of present-day Algeria. Carthage arrives in the Maghreb, The arrival of Carthage was not an invasion. It was an influence, a slow weaving of trade, diplomacy, and culture. The Amazigh tribes traded with Carthage, but they remained fiercely independent. They allowed commerce, but not domination. For the Amazigh spirit, the spirit of freedom, could never be bought. But Carthage wanted more. They wanted control of trade routes, control of farmlands, control of the desert caravans, and tension grew. From this tension, something historic was born. A unified Amazigh kingdom, Numidia. Before we continue this amazing journey through Algeria's past, take one quick second to like this video, drop a comment, and share it with someone who loves history. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the next chapter. In the 3rd century BCE, as Carthage battled Rome for supremacy, the Amazigh tribes saw an opportunity. Under one man, one brilliant warrior, the tribes united. His name was Massinissa, the son of the Massinissa tribe, a man trained as a warrior from childhood, a man who could ride a horse before he could speak clearly, a man born with destiny on his shoulders. Massinissa understood something no other leader had fully grasped, that the scattered Amazigh tribes could defeat any empire if they stood together. The turning point, allied with Rome. When the Second Punic War erupted between Rome and Carthage, Massinissa watched carefully. He chose Rome not because he loved the Romans, but because he understood that Carthage would never allow Amazigh independence. Rome, on the other hand, needed allies, and so Massinissa switched sides at the perfect moment. His army's swift cavalry fighters became legendary. The Numidian horsemen were unmatched, fast, deadly. Intelligent, fearless, they did not wear heavy armor. They did not rely on shields. They rode like the wind and struck like lightning. Rome had never seen anything like them. In 1406 BCE, after years of siege, Rome destroyed Carthage. And who stood victorious beside them? Massinissa. In reward, he was granted authority over vast lands that stretched across modern Algeria, Tunisia, and parts of Libya. For the first time in recorded history, a unified Amazigh kingdom ruled North Africa. A nation built on agriculture, trade, architecture, military excellence, and above all, the idea that Amazigh people could govern themselves. Massinissa ruled until the impossible age of 90 years old, a king whose wisdom shaped generations. A king who believed in unity above all else. His famous motto echoed across the land: Africa belongs to the Africans. A phrase carried in Amazigh memory for thousands of years. After Massinissa, Numidia passed to his descendants, but the one who rose above them all was Jugurtha, the Lion of Numidia. Bold, brilliant, charismatic, and dangerously clever. Rome initially loved him. He trained with their generals. He fought in their armies. He learned their strategies. But he learned something else too: the corruption of Rome. He saw senators who took bribes, officials who sold justice, leaders who valued gold more than honor. And when Jugurtha became king, Rome tried to control him. Jugurtha refused. This sparked one of Algeria's most legendary conflicts, the Jugurthine War, 112–105 BCE. A war Rome believed would be easy. It was not. Jugurtha fought Rome with guerrilla tactics no Roman general understood. He appeared and vanished like a desert storm. He ambushed supply lines. He united tribes. He used the Sahara as a weapon. Rome became frustrated, humiliated, angry, and the Roman Senate, furious that a Berber king had made fools of them, poured enormous armies into North Africa. For years, Jugurtha resisted until betrayal came, not from Rome, but from family. He was handed over to Roman forces, taken to Rome in chains, paraded through the streets. But even as he walked to his execution, the people of Rome whispered, "This is a king." His spirit became a symbol of Amazigh resistance, a reminder that Algerians have never bowed easily to foreign rule. After Jugurtha's defeat, Rome claimed vast territories in Algeria. The region became part of Africa Nova, Africa Proconsularis, Mauritania Caesariensis. Rome brought roads, fortresses, aqueducts, bathhouses, cities. Some of the greatest Roman ruins in the world still stand in Algeria today. Timgad, the Pompeii of Africa; Jumila, a golden jewel in the mountains; Tipasa, overlooking the Mediterranean; Lambasis, a powerful military base. Roman Algeria was rich, productive, important, but beneath the surface, the Amazigh tribes never submitted. They cooperated but never surrendered their identity, religion, or pride. They learned Roman ways but remained Amazigh at heart. And eventually, Rome weakened. When the empire began to fall,
Algeria was ready for a new age, a new faith, a new power rising from the east. The age of early Christianity, Vandal invasions, and the Byzantines was coming. And beyond them, something even greater, something that would forever transform the spiritual and cultural identity of Algeria. A wind was rising from Arabia, carrying a message that would change the world. As Roman power tightened its grip on North Africa, another force began to grow quietly. Not an army, not a kingdom, but a faith. A gentle flame that spread from home to home, heart to heart. Christianity. By the 2nd and 3rd centuries CE, Christianity had taken root across Roman Algeria. It spread not through force, but through hope. A hope that promised equality, dignity, and salvation. In villages, towns, and cities, Algerians gathered secretly to pray. Rich and poor sat side by side. Women held authority. The enslaved found spiritual freedom. This new faith grew so strongly that Algeria produced one of the greatest Christian thinkers in history. Born in the city of Thagaste, modern-day Souk Arras, Augustine rose from a restless, searching youth to become a towering philosopher and theologian. He witnessed war. He experienced spiritual confusion. He questioned everything. In his search for truth, he shaped ideas that still influence billions of people today. His works, Confessions, and The City of God became cornerstones of Western thought. Augustine was not Roman. He was Amazigh, a North African intellectual who reshaped the world. But as Christianity flourished, another storm approached North Africa. From across the sea, in the 5th century, the Western Roman Empire was collapsing. And sensing weakness, the Vandals, a powerful Germanic tribe, sailed from Spain to North Africa. Led by the fierce king Genseric, they swept across the land like a wildfire. Roman garrisons fell, cities trembled, towns were stripped of wealth. And Algeria, caught in the crossroads, felt the full force of their invasion. The Vandals seized Carthage, then moved west. They disrupted trade, weakened cities, and challenged Christian communities. Yet the Amazigh tribes, strong in their independence, adapted once again. Some resisted, some cooperated, some retreated deep into the mountains and deserts where no army could follow. The land survived, its people endured. But the chaos would not last forever. Another empire, another power, was preparing to retake North Africa. Under Emperor Justinian, the Eastern Roman Empire, the Byzantines, launched a campaign to reclaim the lands lost to the Vandals. Led by the legendary general Belisarius, their armies struck swiftly. The Vandals were defeated. Their kingdom dissolved. North Africa came under Byzantine rule. For a time, peace returned. Byzantine engineers restored fortresses. Governors re-established cities. Churches flourished. Trade revived. But Byzantine rule had a fatal flaw. It was distant, disconnected, unfamiliar with the Amazigh way of life. Their taxes were heavy, their officials corrupt, their understanding of the land limited. The Amazigh tribes, proud and independent, refused to be controlled. Rebellions erupted. Mountains became fortresses. Deserts became shields. The Byzantine Empire held Algeria, but it never mastered it. And as the old empire struggled, a new message echoed across the sands of Arabia, a message of unity, of faith, of transformation.
a message carried not by armies at first, but by words. In the 7th century, a new faith began spreading across the world, Islam. The first contact between Arabs and North Africa was not a conquest. It was an exchange through caravans, diplomats, and early emissaries. Then came organized expeditions led by commanders such as Uqba ibn Nafi, Abul al-Muhajir Dinar, Musa ibn Nusayr. Their mission was not only military, it was spiritual, political, and economic. The Amazigh tribes reacted in different ways. Some resisted fiercely, some negotiated, some embraced the new faith with passion. And among them rose one of the greatest figures in Algerian and world history. Her name was Dihya, known as Kahina, a seer, a warrior, a queen of the Orez Mountains. She united tribes with unmatched brilliance, and for years she halted the advance of the Arab armies. Kahina understood strategy, she understood the land, and she fought with a fire no conqueror could extinguish. But she also understood destiny. She knew that Islam's arrival was not a storm, but a tide. And tides cannot be stopped, only guided. Legend says she told her sons, join them, build a future with them. Her fall was heroic, but it marked the beginning of something monumental. The Amazigh people embraced Islam, not as conquered subjects, but as partners in a growing civilization. They became scholars, warriors, administrators, builders of empires. From the ashes of war, a new Algeria was rising, stronger, unified, awakened. After the time of Kahina and the early arrival of Islam, a new chapter began in Algeria's story. It was a time when Berber people, the Amazigh, built their own kingdoms, their own cities, and their own golden age. These kingdoms were strong, they were proud, and they helped shape the future of North Africa. Let's walk through this time slowly, like a journey through a magical land. Long, long ago, a family called the Zirids became the leaders of Algeria. They were Amazigh people who learned how to govern wisely. They built beautiful cities. They encouraged farming, learning, and trade. People grew crops, made clothes, traded goods, and lived peacefully. Under the Zirids, children went to school, farmers planted seeds, and traders traveled across deserts with camels. But every kingdom faces challenges, and the Zirids soon faced enemies and troubles from faraway places. Even so, their time left behind many ideas and traditions that helped Algeria grow. Next came the Hammadids, another Amazigh family who wanted to build something amazing. So they built a huge city called Qalat Beni Hammad. It was full of palaces, tall towers, gardens, and fountains. People from different lands visited the city. They brought stories, music, and colors from faraway worlds. Imagine walking through a city where you can smell sweet perfumes, hear musicians playing, and see bright clothes hanging in the marketplace. That was the Hammadid world, but as time passed, they faced battles and had to move their capital to a safer place. Béjaïa, a city by the sea. Béjaïa then became a center of learning. Scholars came from everywhere to study light, math, and science. Even the famous scientist Fibonacci learned from ideas that spread through Béjaïa. Then came the Almoravids, brave warriors from the Sahara desert. They were strong, disciplined, and very religious. They wanted to bring peace and fairness across the land. From the Sahara, they moved north and reached Algeria. They helped keep roads safe, encouraged trade, and built mosques and learning centers. The Almoravids also traveled far into Spain, helping build one of the most amazing periods in history. Al-Andalus, a place where learning, art, and science grew beautifully. Their time didn't last forever, but they helped connect Algeria with the wider world. After the Almoravids came the Almohads, another Amazigh group with big dreams. They wanted all of North Africa and Spain to be united under one strong, fair, peaceful leadership. They built giant buildings, they created strong laws, they supported scholars, doctors, teachers, and travelers. Under them, Algeria was part of a huge empire full of knowledge, music, invention, and colorful cultures. But even the greatest empires eventually get tired.
The Almohads became weaker over time, and new leaders rose. The last great medieval Amazigh kingdom of Algeria was the Zayyanid kingdom, based in the city of Tlemcen. Tlemcen was magical. It was known as the Pearl of the Maghreb. It had artists, poets, scholars, and traders. People made beautiful carpets and played sweet music. Kings ruled from grand palaces. Travelers from the desert, from Spain and from other African lands came to trade goods like gold, leather, cloth, and spices. The Zayyanids held their kingdom for many centuries. They protected Algeria's west, kept trade alive, and supported art and culture. But eventually, stronger powers from the east began to rise, and a new chapter was coming, a chapter with soldiers wearing armor of fire, with cannons, ships, and giant empires fighting for control. A chapter where Algeria would soon face one of the darkest storms in its history, but also one of the greatest eras of heroism. A very long time ago, before schools, phones, or cars existed, people living in the land we now call Algeria began to meet other people from faraway places. These meetings did not happen because people wanted to fight. They happened because people wanted salt, food, tools, beads, animals, clothes, and sometimes just to learn something new. The world was big, but people were curious, so they walked. They rode animals. They followed stars at night. And they carried stories, songs, and ideas with them. And slowly, Algeria became like a busy doorway where many cultures passed through. The first travelers were simple families moving from place to place. Then came bigger groups, traders. These traders brought things that people in Algeria had never seen before. Shiny beads, colorful cloth, spices that smelled sweet, tools from metal, and stories about oceans and mountains far away. In return, Algeria offered many treasures too: strong horses, leather, salt from the Sahara, dates from tall palm trees, and beautiful handmade items. Slowly, towns began to grow along these travel paths. Where there is trade, people settle. Where people settle, families grow. And where families grow, villages become towns, towns become cities, and cities become civilizations. People in ancient Algeria became very skilled at many things. They knew how to farm in hot places, how to train camels, how to paint stories on cave walls, and how to find water under the sand. They respected nature because nature could be kind and also very hard. One moment the desert was calm. The next, a sandstorm could rise without warning. So families stuck together. The old ones taught the young ones, and the young ones grew up and taught their children too. That is how knowledge survived. As time passed, something big happened. More and more travelers began coming from faraway kingdoms. Some came from the Mediterranean Sea in the north. Some came from deep inside Africa in the south. Some came from the east, bringing new languages and ideas. And like a giant river made of people, cultures mixed. New music, new foods, new clothing styles, new ways of building homes, new ways of farming, and new ways of believing in the world. Algeria did not just change, it grew. It became a place where many worlds met. People learned to share stories, trade peacefully, and respect travelers. They also learned to stand strong when danger came, because not all visitors were friendly ones. But every challenge made the people smarter and stronger. By this time, the people of Algeria already had a strong identity. They spoke many languages, but they shared one thing: pride in their land. The mountains, the desert, the sea, all of it shaped who they were. Their homes were simple but warm. Their hearts were strong, their memories were long, and their stories were endless. This was not yet the Algeria we know today, but it was the foundation, the beginning of a long journey through history. Thanks for joining this journey through Algeria's early history. If you enjoyed it, please like, comment, and share the video, and make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next chapter of our story.